Rand Paul has said, hey, you know what? If President Obama does executive orders for gun control, that's it. He's a king or a monarch, right? Well, he's tame compared to some of the other Republicans. Now, former Attorney General for Ronald Reagan is Ed Meese. He was asked on this fake News Max. I love whenever they want to do propaganda, they call it news. Fox News, News Max, right? About Obama's executive order. So let's watch what he said.
So if the president unilaterally overrides the Second Amendment via executive order, I mean, would this be constitutional? Would it be legal? And how should Congress respond?
Well, it would not be legal. It would not be constitutional. And indeed, if he tried to override the Second Amendment in any way, I believe it would be an impeachable offense.
Of course. Here we go. Impeachment. Here we go. Okay.
That's total lunacy. I mean, that is really crazy. The notion of the president trying to wholly override the Second Amendment via an executive order. Look, I'd be up in arms. I'd be upset about that.
Right.
These people are not interested in actually looking at the substance of what's being proposed. What this shows, that clip is a perfect example that shows a conservative media machine that is only interested in whipping up complete hysteria and paranoia. That has absolutely nothing to do with what's being proposed.
You know why? It's because they don't operate based on facts. They operate based on emotion. So they're like,
Totally.
Here we go, let's rile up people's fears. My God, President Obama, who's so deathly afraid of the Republicans, the idea that he would override the Second Amendment. He can override the Fourth Amendment all day long because the Republicans agreed to that, right? But the Second Amendment with an executive order? Are you kidding me? But Ed Meese is not alone. Mm-hmm. Now we have actual congressmen. Steve Stockman from Texas says, I will seek to thwart this action by any means necessary. So here we go, Malcolm X kind of language, including but not limited to eliminating funding for implementation, defunding the White House, and even filing articles of impeachment. How long did it take? 2 weeks into January, he has actually not even gone through the inauguration yet for the second term, and immediately you've got Republican congressmen talking about impeachment.
And remember, the way to see how absurd this is to remember what they're saying this, specifically, what they're saying this in opposition to. So the president proposes an executive order to have the Centers for Disease Control better target research funding to why America, for instance, has the highest rate of gun violence in the industrialized world. That, according to the Republicans, that is an impeachable offense. That is something, that is...
How dare you do research? You would find out facts. Impeach him.
Impeach him. Get rid of him. He's trying to overthrow the Second Amendment.
Overthrow the Constitution and the Second Amendment. Now, you want to get a load of this great irony? Steve Stockman's a congressman from Texas. He put out this statement with this logo on it. It's got the cannon, it's got the star, and it says, come and take it. Like, oh, you want to take our weapons? Come and take it. That is the logo used by secessionists in Texas. Oh, so man. How dare the president, tread on the United States Constitution, which I would like to secede from.
I mean, this is how crazy the debate is, and it goes back to the point at the beginning. What President Obama is proposing legislatively is considered controversial, even though only a few years ago it was in George W. Bush's campaign platform. That's how far the debate's moved there. And now, when we talk about executive orders to better study gun violence, you have Republicans saying it's time to impeach the president. I mean, what it proves is we're not really having a debate. The Republicans are not interested. What it really proves is they don't want to talk about this because it is politically inconvenient for them.